Time now for today's Focus Report. And we head to Iraq, where the operation to retake Mosul from the Islamic State group is underway. Those fighting to liberate Iraq's second city include the Iraqi army, the Kurdish Peshmerga, and a broader US-led coalition providing air support. However, our colleagues at France 2 met with another group taking part in the operation, a group of civilian medics from the US who travelled to Iraq on their own dime to help with the war effort.
Shortly after daybreak, the vehicles traversed the dust towards enemy territory. The first mortar rounds soon fire towards the advancing Kurdish Peshmerga fighters. By their side are around a dozen foreign medics.
There's thousands of Peshmerga pouring in right now. Thousands. As you can see.
Peter Reed is American, a former soldier who served in the Afghan war. He's travelled to join the Kurdish fighters to offer his skills on the battlefield.
I mean, what is your mission here?
Save Peshmerga lives. Because they're about to start taking casualties. Probably in the next half an hour.
It's already the third offensive he's helped with, and without doubt, the most dangerous. John Reith has also volunteered as a medic, but he carries an arm with him, he says, for self-defense. In the US, he works with textiles and also drives an ambulance.
Daesh sucks. I mean, there's cancer in the world. So that's my part I can do to kind of help combat what they've done to the world. It's something that they really lack here, kind of advanced medical. So I just...
All right, that was us shooting.
All right.
Despite the constant danger, the medical team remains in high spirits.
I got sunshine.
Until the moment things start to get serious.
Oh, bomb car. Whoa.
A suicide bomber blows up his car near the Peshmerga forces. The medics jump straight into action.
Get the bag! Get the bag!
They must make it to the wounded as fast as possible. Many soldiers flee, fearing another car bomb attack. The volunteers must advance several hundred meters in the direction of the fighting to rescue the wounded.
Come on, stay down. Anna, in the truck. Held down. Okay, come on. No, Anna, come on. In the truck. Stay on it. Let's go. Get in. John, where are you? Go. Get in
The medics drive them to safety.
I need him on the table. Let's go. Table. Go.
Pete, where the is your seals? Pete?
what?
To save time, the medics treat the men on the ground. Every second counts. All the while, the battle intensifies. It becomes clear that the evacuation of the wounded is not the fighters' top priority.
What's wrong with you?
I'm good, man.
Okay, this truck is great, but I need 2 more. Okay? Yeah, there are a lot of trucks, right? Yeah, I gotta do this.
Brother, they are p***s, all right?
Okay, then make them not p***s. I need you to do this while we do this, okay?
The medics finally get the vehicles they need to get the wounded to safety. And as the front line calms down, they collect their thoughts.
It was an intense several minutes. It felt like hours. No one flinched. Everyone did their jobs like professionals, so...
Happy to be alive. Yeah, I'm glad we came out here. I think we saved some people.
Golf balls in the fire, makes a big boom.
With soda cans raised, the medics toast to a good day's work. The light-hearted atmosphere returns, though they know they'll soon have to do it all over again.
Polk County community is mourning the loss of a young brother and sister tragically killed in a horrific crash on their way to school today. Investigators believe the driver, George Lara, never saw a truck coming down busy US 28. ABC Action News reporter Ryan Raish live with what may have led to this crash and really how these teens are being remembered today. Ryan?
Yeah, Wendy, I want to show you where this deadly crash happened. This is busy US 27, cars flying in both directions. You can probably understand why. When it's still dark out at that morning, a teenager comes out this road and tries to find a lull in traffic to make a left-hand turn. Worse yet, these teens lived just a few doors down. Today, heartbreak at Frostproof High.
We was always there to help.
Tears flowing hard for two beloved friends and classmates, George and Melanie Laura.
When I first found out, I busted in tears because he was close to me.
The brother and sister were on their way to school this morning, but barely made it a block away from home. In their attempt to cross busy US 27, investigators say George never saw this white pickup truck. The twisted, mangled metal and debris-scattered pavement clearly show how hard they hit.
His mother heard the crash and went out and went up to the end of the street and passed out when she saw the children.
That thought of mom walking up to the wreckage, hard for any parent to stomach.
It's horrible. It's just horrible. I can't even imagine. I have a granddaughter the same age, and I can't imagine.
Neighbor Kathy Cash watched the Laura kids grow up, described them as nice and always willing to help out in the neighborhood. Today, administrators at their school put out a touching statement, reading in part, these two students were the epitome of character, honesty, and integrity that we hope all our students strive to be. They touched many lives.
Everybody was like crying and running to the guidance counselors and everything.
Late today, friends started a memorial marking the agonizing spot that their parents will have to pass daily.
It's got to be absolutely horrifying. They've got to think of it every day when they go to the end of the street.
A neighbor tells me that the little sister, Melanie, 9 times out of 10 rides the school bus to school and for whatever reason took a ride with her brother today. The 3 men in the other truck are expected to survive. Live in Frostproof, Ryan Raish.
A 6-hour standoff ended peacefully on the south side. Deputies say a man has surrendered after shooting at officers who were serving an arrest warrant.
9 on your side's Jennifer Dela Cruz, live at the scene.
Well, fortunately, that man did surrender peacefully right about an hour ago. Crews are now packing up and heading out as they shut down this investigation for the night. Deputies tell me that man was armed when he locked himself inside one of those hotel rooms after shooting at U.S. Marshals. Now, take a look at what the scene looked like here earlier tonight. This started when the Marshals were serving an arrest warrant here around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Pima County deputies responded to assist after they say shots were fired at one of those Marshals. They say the shooter then barricaded himself inside one of the rooms here at the Quality Inn. Fortunately, though, no one was hurt. SWAT crews were out here working to negotiate with that man and bring him out peacefully. They also had a chopper circling the area above us for quite some time. Both guests and hotel staff were evacuated. Palo Verde Road was blocked off near Irvington for several hours as this went on. Once again, an officer-involved shooting led to a 6-hour SWAT standoff here that ended peacefully on the south side. Reporting live, Jennifer Dela Cruz, KGUN 9 on your side.
Jennifer, thank you.
Breaking news, 2 people die when a fire burns through a Sarasota home. ABC Action News reporter Maricela Burgos has been following the investigation there throughout the evening. Maricela, what can you tell us?
Firefighters spent more than 6 hours out here investigating, and you can see why the fire destroyed everything inside that home. A neighbor recorded the moment after firefighters saved this man from his home.
I did hear they had to break down the wall to get him out.
This is the concrete wall firefighters busted through because it was the only way to get him out. Firefighters say his weight made it difficult to rescue him.
I think it was the son out of the group, so we're praying for him and his recovery.
Firefighters surrounded his stretcher and slowly lifted it into the ambulance. He suffered serious injuries. They say there were 2 other people in the home who did not make it.
It's sad to lose a life like that in that way.
The fire started before 3 p.m.
When I came home, it was just a pillar of black smoke.
The home is at the intersection of Sugar Lane and Prudence Drive in Sarasota.
The cops said they were here banging on my door. They were ready to bust the doors down because they wanted to make sure our house was okay.
Firefighters are investigating how this fire started. Neighbors keep thinking about the 2 people who didn't survive.
It's very sad when anyone passes away, and that it happened so close to home.
The two biggest questions firefighters are working on answering tonight is how this fire started and where it sparked inside that home. Reporting live in Sarasota, Maricela Burgos, ABC
The two
Action
brothers
News.
charged in a deadly shooting in Amherst this month will be returning to Western Massachusetts soon. The Northwestern DA's office told 22 News Sok Nang and Soksat Cham, both of New Salem, waived extradition in an Arizona courtroom today, clearing the path to face charges here in Massachusetts. Sok Nang Cham is charged with murder in the October 15th shooting death of 31-year-old Jose Rodriguez. Soksat Cham is being charged as an accessory to murder. The two were taken into custody by U.S. Marshals more than 2,000 miles away in Flagstaff, Arizona, earlier this week.
Iraqi forces are closing in on Mosul, capturing villages from ISIL militants. As the jihadists retreat, they've been taking residents with them to be used as human shields. And for those who refused, the punishment was quick. The UN received reports that more than 200 people were killed for refusing to obey ISIL, while some 8,000 families were kidnapped.
ISIL's depraved, cowardly strategy is to attempt to use the presence of civilian hostages to render certain points, areas, or military forces immune from military operations, effectively using tens of thousands of women, men, and children as human shields. Many of those who refused to comply were shot on the spot.
For the residents of Faziliyah, it was a different story. They poured onto the streets to greet Iraqi Kurdish forces who freed them from ISIL. The troops are encircling Mosul for the final battle, which could be the most complex since the US-led invasion of Iraq in 2003. Still photos show an elite unit exploring ISIL's tunnels in a village on the front line, giving a glimpse of the challenge they face.